Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave again. If you watched my video the other day, I went into the South 40 and made myself some dinner. And part of that dinner was actually making a cup of coffee. Lately I've been on a tear as far as meals in the outdoors. I really want to up my game when I go walkabout. As you know, I'm on a Mediterranean meatless kind of diet. I don't eat a lot of meat. Mainly vegetables, fruits, nuts, that sort of thing, and very little meat. But once a week I'll have myself a piece of meat just to keep my protein up. I do take vitamins and things like that. But my point is, cooking vegetables all the time can be extremely boring, especially for somebody like me. He goes in the outdoors, does a walkabout, goes camping, and part of the video I'm trying to make is showing you me cooking a meal. Well, that gets kind of boring, veggie stuff only. And I needed to find a way to up my meals. I was getting bored with it. I'm pretty sure you were. I needed to come up with better meal. I decided I needed to find something different. Over the last month or 2 or 3, I've really been looking at different ways of cooking in the outdoors. Not just your normal fry it, grill it, boil it, which is pretty common. If you eat meat, you can fry it, boil it, broil it, do whatever you like with it. But for me, veggies, you're limited. You can do that stuff, it's just not the same. I wanted to bring something else to the table. So with that in mind, I've been looking over the last couple of months, I've been scouring the internet. Couple of things I've been looking for. Something different to cook, a different way to cook, and better tools to cook with. More fun stuff, doing something different, just adapting to the outdoors and making it a little bit more fun. With that in mind, I've been trying to upgrade my outdoor kitchen, if you want to call it that. Right now, it's Stanley. Stanley right now is dominating my kitchen. And it has in the past. I started with the little Stanley Adventure pot and moved up from there. You know, I got the bigger pot, the frying pan, and so I built onto it. A lot of that stuff really didn't improve my cooking and what I was cooking. Like I said, over the last couple of months, I wanted to bring a better cook show, if you want to call it that, to my video. So in the last one, I made coffee and I did some baking and had a meal, had some disasters, which is all, for me, is all about the fun in the outdoors. If you're not doing something wrong or you make a mistake, you're not doing it right. And that's my theory and I'm sticking to it. I used this when I went out in the South 40. And I use this to make my coffee. Now, I've been on this French press tear for a couple of weeks now because I discovered the original Stanley French press, which was just that, a French press, which is this guy here, which I ended up modifying so that I could bake in it. And I'm sure you saw in the video, I've baked bread, I've made lasagna, and it works pretty cool. And it's a little stressful because I never know if it's going to work. I'm learning. So, you know, the better I get at it, I know I can do better meals. And it's opened up a whole new menu for me, which to me is kind of exciting. And I'm hoping I can pass that excitement on to you guys and you guys can try something different. This is what I wanted to talk about. And this is a big addition to my cookware, a French press from Stanley with a lot of extra. Why this got my attention was it is a French press. I didn't know they had this. This is the Stanley Adventure Series all-in-one coffee system. Now, they say all-in-one because basically it really has everything you need to make coffee and to even keep coffee and drink a couple of cups without having to keep remaking coffee. And that's what I liked about it. I'm going to go through this with you. We'll have a look at it. I'm impressed. So far, it's worked for me, and I'm going to show you why I wanted it and how I'm going to use it. So here it is here. You can see the all-in-one. It looks like a thermos that's nesting in a mug, and the mug has a handle on it. This is the only thing that I'm a little concerned about, and that's this guy. For me to cook, I want to be able to do it on a fire, simply because a fire gives me more options. It's a little harder to cook with a one-burner gas stove. Well, you can cook with it, but what I want to do is I want to bake. And I'm not sure I can bake on a one burner yet. I'm always looking and I'm always trying to figure out a way that I can do it. Back to this guy, what they actually call their pot for cooking. You can use it to cook. You can use it to boil the water in for your coffee. Not quite as big as the original French press. I'm not concerned about that. If it can make me 2 or 3 cups of coffee in one go, I'm good with that. It is a nice handle. It's well designed. It works well. It's solid. The problem is it has plastic that they have on a lot of their stuff. And you press this thing to close it and it opens, and to release it. I just wish they could some way to keep that as metal. I'm worried about on the fire. Am I going to melt this? Because I've melted every little cap that they ever have on them. And so that's the only thing that concerns me with the system. And this all nests in there, and it doesn't just sit on there. It's actually got, if you look here, it actually has a lock. So you go in there, there's a little indentation here, and you give it a little turn, and it's on there pretty solid. It's not going to slide off or anything, which is a good feature. So that's the first thing that's different to the other French press. This is the French press part, and the actual filter for the French press, it doesn't just pull off. You don't want to, you have to twist it on. It's a twist on. Very basic. It's that same plastic. I need to look that up and see what it is, and it has the filter on the bottom, so that when you're making your coffee, you've boiled your water, you add your coffee, you have it sit for a little bit. So you want to let your coffee sit and seep a little bit, and then you're pushing this in, and it just pushes in like that, and you can see there has that lock in. So now you have your coffee system with your French press filter and everything. Adding on to that is this guy. This I thought was really smart. It's a thermos. You make yourself a bunch of coffee, filter it, put it in your thermos, and you got coffee that's going to last for quite a while. I don't need coffee to last for 3 days or for 10 hours or 8 hours. I just need a couple of hours. Maybe get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, make my breakfast. I think it's a really good idea. I only have to do it once. And if I'm making breakfast and I'm baking, that takes a while. So I can make my coffee while baking with my old French press. And they say the ratings on this, 15 hours hot, 13 hours cold, and 2 days with ice. So those are pretty good numbers. It works more than what I needed to. Something else they did, here's the Thermos Lid, and it's got the seal on it, so it screws in there. Nice and tight, and you've got a good seal. On the top of this cap, this screws off, and you have dry storage inside here. And it's fairly deep, it's the length of my fingers here. So I'll put a small packet of coffee in here, and some sugar, which is all I need. This is the top to the whole system. And not only that, if you look at this, it's 2. This unscrews. 2 cups. This took a lot of thought. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed that they came up with this whole thing in one. It's not cheap. It's fairly pricey, and I'll put the price up here for you. Stanley's coming out with some pretty cool stuff, and I have a lot of their products. This really impressed me. The thought that went into this, for me, how well and how long it's going to work, I'm not really concerned. Stanley has always put out good products for me. I have never had a problem with their product. That's why I buy their products. When they come out with something new that catches my attention, I'm all over it. Price-wise, they're pretty reasonable, considering what you can pay for other stuff out there, titanium stuff, that sort of thing. I'm not one of those guys that needs to have my pack as light as possible. Those days for me are gone. I go on a walkabout or a short hike and go camp. I don't know, the weight isn't an issue for me. I have to keep it down, but I limit myself as to how far and for how long I'm carrying stuff. This, it's not light, but it works. It's going to do everything I need. The Stanley Adventure Series all-in-one coffee system. Now, in the beginning of the video, you saw the specs on it. I got to say, I'm impressed. Stanley Adventure Series all-in-one coffee system, 17 ounce or half a liter, 15 hours hot, 13 hours cold, 2 days of ice. And then it gives you a description here of all the parts that come with it. 2 nesting cups, stopper with dry storage, vacuum bottle, French press, and the pot. And they show you how it goes together there. Built for life, lifetime warranty. But that's how I feel about the Stanley product. It's always been good for me. Designed in Seattle, Washington, ethically manufactured in China. Something new. I think it's going to be a good addition for me. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back with something. Right now, I'm busy scrubbing the internet looking for that perfect one-burner stove that I can bake on. I suspect I'm going to have to come up with some sort of modification. Stay tuned. Just saying. Thanks for watching. Bye.